opportunity. I grew up in Locust, but I'm familiar with the Oakworth schools because, again, before integration, we were bused. I started out in 1958 at the South Oakworth Elementary School, which is an Oakworth school, and the original school was one of the Rosenwald schools. The potbelly stole something in the school. I remember we never had a cafeteria. We never had a lunchroom, but we had teachers who encouraged us and inspired us and would get on us if we did not behave because they saw our potential. I remember the first principal I remember was Mr. B.K. Williams, the late Mr. B.K. Williams. And I, as a small child, I just thought he was such a humongous, authoritative man. And again, I think that school on 205 was maybe 3 more rooms where classes were combined. Again, but the focus was on educating you. And I also remember saying Bible verses in our class. You know, I remember some of the activities, and I think if it was 1961, then under the tenure of the late Mr. J.L. Thomas, that South Oakboro moved to Hamilton Road. The building still exists, but that was a 1st through 8th grade school. And at that time, my class, the 8th grade class of 1966, we were the last to attend that school. At that point, again, everything closed because of integration. I really enjoyed my experience in the African American school. I remember, and some of you older, well, seasoned people like me, I remember May Day. Oh, it was such fun. Norwood, Mount Gilead, West Baden, sometimes the bands would come and we'd have competition. And I remember the sense of community. We never knew that we were poor because we were never provided things like for a band, but they came up with a drum corps. And I remember my brother James, Cletus Burns, and some other guys, they played the snares. The majorettes, you know, we didn't have a lot of money, but people like the late Mr. Stella Gridenow would make our uniforms for us. So although we did not have what I would say now up to par books, because you know we always got the secondhand books passed down to us. So what I've realized is that although we were not where they thought we should be and knew it, I'm referring to the Board of Education, but we ourselves took interest and the community as a whole was connected. The church, like at Elbert, St. Matthew, that was the auditorium when we had programs that we could not have at the school. So although, again, we didn't know we were poor till we began to integrate and see the differences. We saw all the nice glass doors in the schools. We had just old wooden doors, but we just, we took it and learned from it. I think the main thing is that what helped us is that our teachers care for us. And so when you go to, I remember leaving South Oakboro and going to West Stanley. I never got the experience of going to Kingwood School. And I used to ask my siblings, what was it like? And they said it was fun, You had teachers that but they kept you in place. And something that has helped me. My son said to me one day, he said, "Mama, you'll eat out of a plate just to eat a hot dog." He said, "That's etiquette." I said, "Yes." But in our schools, we wore dresses. We didn't wear pants. And even till I graduated in 1970, I think the year after, people became able to wear pants and the other things. I remember we had assembly every Monday morning, at South Oak Borough on Hamilton Road. We would go to assembly, announcements would be made, but also we were allowed to say verses, Bible verses. So there was a connection to the community. And if fundraisers were going on, what happened is that people in the community came together to raise funds so that we could do some things that we truly wanted to do for the school. To me, that was a very rich experience. West Stanley, I was successful there, but I noticed later that we weren't steered toward college prep courses, but we weren't. People like the late Miss Maud Asbury, she made sure you learned what you needed to learn. If she had to paddle you into it. So it was a great experience for me. At West Stanley, I was listening to you, where they did not always treat you. My brother, I know, was a B student, but I never saw his name on the honor roll. It wasn't placed there. So I say to the young people, do not take for granted the opportunities that you have today. If we made it, went to college, made successes out of our lives when we financially, our parents didn't have a lot to offer us. But between the school and the community, I heard someone say about her mom getting in the news by the time she got home. Well, the same way, I remember Miss Wall and Mr. Wall would come out to our home, and we lived way out in the county. So we were considered the country people, and along Brown Hill Road. So what I say to you, there are opportunities, but it bothers me to see the violence, black on black crime. No one addresses that, but if a police kills us, we're all up in roar. What's the problem with not addressing black on black crime? So I say to you, we have to rethink some things, because in my younger years, again, the community, the support system, my aunts, Miss Mamie Howell, one of the members of Brown Hill, they just encouraged us. And so I say to you, we've got to step it up. And again, I'm glad that you and the Avengers are taking that bold step to try to make some change. And then one other thing, a hidden secret in Stanley County. My mother attended the Brown Hill School. And there's not much history that I could find on it, but it was on the campus of Brown Hill AME Zion Church. And I'm not sure, I couldn't find the history as to when it was originally built, but I know she was born in 1917 and she went to school there at age 5. So, and the school closed in 1948, according to my cousin Willette. But again, it was the church and the school as a community. They said that, they had the parents and the students would come, the parents would come to the school to check on their children, and they had to walk sometimes. My mom said sometimes they had to walk at least 2 miles to school, but they were, committed to education. And so the church took on the role to have the school there on the campus. And I remember them saying it was there until about 1967 or 68 when they built a new sanctuary on the campus of Brown Hill. I hate that was lost, the building itself, through the struggles, through pre and post integration. We have been proven to come ahead and to make something out of our lives. I sometimes, reflect in what was the difference, and I remember, I think about the Jewish people. They never allowed the Holocaust to die, because if you lose sight of your history and the price that was paid to get you to where you are, what happens is you begin to lose a little bit of your culture. And so now it's our responsibility to become more active in assuring, success and righteous living for our generation, the next generation, our children, grandchildren. So, we have to step up to the plate and take the torch and move forward. Thank you for this opportunity.